if a Japanese, like mashallah, our brother here, who knows Japanese, and if I employ him in Bombay, I may benefit, but I am decreasing the spread because he's a Japanese. He knows Japanese, very few people know Japanese and who can be a good dai. So if I train a Japanese in doing dawah and keep him in Bombay, point number one, a foreigner can't do missionary activity in India. Can't give public lectures. But we asked only to check. What is his passion? Is he willing to sacrifice or not? A person coming from UK wanting to work in Bombay, passion is good. Just to check. Would you like, we didn't say yes, we'll employ you. Yes, there were one or two participants like brother, mashallah, Shafiq, who will be beneficial to us because we have launched a channel in Mandarin. So we want a person knowing English and Mandarin. We have a few Chinese, mashallah, there with us, pure Chinese, but they know Arabic and Chinese, not English and Mandarin. So there are a couple of foreigners who would be staying here, inshallah, and working with us, but that will benefit them because what work he can do in Bombay, he can't do anywhere else in the world. He being able to reach millions of people through Peace TV, he cannot do that in Malaysia. But I don't have a Japanese channel, so if I ask him to stay here, he would be a better impact for the Islamic work in Japan than here. So as a policy, we had two different rules. For them, then I told Brother Kaleem that, okay, fine, if there are hardly 2 Indians who have come into the list by default, let's ask the other Indians that, will you work here? So 80% agreed yes. So from that lot, we had a second category that fine, you will be observing the Dawah training program on a screen in a side room. Yet you will benefit more than 75%. How? Your homework would be taken by another instructor, no problem. You will not be able to ask me questions on the spot. But maybe thrice in 33 days, I would give them a couple of hours, 2 hours or 3 hours. You jot down the questions, I will answer once in 10 days maybe. On the condition that you agree to work here full time. There's a condition now. For attending the Dawah training program, it was a question. And there were some people who also said, we will not work here, but we selected them in the international training program. In the next room, it was only that fine, you did not qualify for the main round. Now there's a second, that is costing me money, which is not benefiting the ummah. Why? Because that's not going on satellite. Here my cost per person is very expensive. There also there's a cost involved. It's in lakhs of rupees. Lakhs of rupees means thousands of dollars. Several $1,000s there. Here, it's in big amount. So there we had mentioned in the form very clearly that simple and basic accommodation will be given. If anyone wants something better, he will have to pay for it. So that we are clear now. We are clear. Simple and basic. Now, simple and basic, what is for you may differ for me. What is for you may differ for me. It is subjective, I know that. Now, for the foreigners, what accommodation we gave, we think it is basic and simple. They may think it is good, they may think it is low, it is up to them. I may have to take a survey, maybe. What we felt basic and simple for an Indian, irrespective whether he's coming from China or whether he's coming from, he's an Indian. The policies were different. He did not qualify for the main round. So we had another accommodation, which was in apartments, which is basic and simple, which is when I travel the world, I stayed in accommodation worse than that. Dr. Zakir Naik. When I went to UK, they kept me in a room, which was little bigger than the bed I slept on. Allah has given me so much money that mashallah I can stay in 5-star hotel anywhere in the world. Alhamdulillah. Allah has given that to me. We didn't object. We said, Alhamdulillah, they gave me a chance to do dawah, no problem. I paid for my ticket. Not to learn. They call me, I pay my ticket, they charge for my entry. They make money. I pay for my ticket. And I have a habit when I prepare, I walk in the room. Imagine 6 feet by about 5 feet room. I'm talking about the old days in the early 2000s. We didn't object. Surely the accommodation we gave here is multiple times better than the accommodation when I traveled. Alhamdulillah. Now the situation is different, alhamdulillah. We want to test, not that we can't afford. whenever we call English speaker for Peace TV, all of them, we don't give 5-star, we give 5-star deluxe. It's not required. We want to tell the Dai, okay, fine, we give you the best treatment. When a budget of this Dawah training program is so big, we can keep all of you into 5-star deluxe. We don't want to spoil you, we don't want to degrade your niyyah. If you want to stay in a 5-star for Dawah training, why to waste the Ummah's money? Alhamdulillah, we can afford to keep all of you in 5-star deluxe. That is the capacity of organization. One participant who I mentioned earlier in the session, I don't want to take his name, he had said that please give me, I don't mind coming if there's no suite, I'll sit in the side room, I'll pay for my accommodation, etc. And when he came here, he said the accommodation is not up to standard. So I said, fine. You are willing to pay, you can pay. I told Brother Kaleem that if he wants accommodation better than what we have given, he'll have to pay minimum 3,000 rupees a day. But Kaleem was afraid, he said 2,000 a day. He said, I'll go back. That means he can't pay 2,000 a day for this training. And he's a Dai. He's a Dai giving lectures. I said, Alhamdulillah. We saved the money of the Ummah. And he's earning good money. He said, I earn a lot of money, I can pay for my accommodation. So one thing is speaking, one thing is, most of the foreigners that have come, if I tell them to pay, they will pay. And no, we don't require, Alhamdulillah. Because we can judge the enthusiasm of each one. We don't want to spoil. If a person comes here because we are giving good accommodation, how will be a Dai? But we don't want to trouble him too much. Therefore, we said the basic for the foreigners would be Balwas Hotel, 4-star hotel. We can afford the most expensive hotels, Alhamdulillah. Allah has blessed us. People come and say that if they want to learn in my school, we would not mind going in a hut and learning. Suppose tomorrow you come to know the place is unclean. What do you think? You don't do the Dawah training program? Hypothetically, if I have to study under Didat, I would live in a hut on the streets also. Even if I have to pay $1 million and I can afford it, I will pay. Because that money cannot buy that training. Those who value, they know. Those who don't value, and neither do we want to be extravagant. A person comes as a speaker is on a different level. You are coming as students to learn, yet we don't want you to be something substandard. If a person who thinks living in an apartment where we kept, most of our staffs are staying there, it is fine. And if he thinks that it is not up to the standard and he wants to go, I said, no, even if he wants to do, I will not allow him. I want to search somewhere where I can get. I said, even if he gets the place, he cannot continue. He cannot start, but Alhamdulillah, he himself ran away. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps us many a time to find out what is the real test. Inshallah, we have to end the session within the next few minutes because it's time for Maghrib Salah. I'll just rush through. Point number 5, need help to identify the qualities of Dai in me, as Dr. Zakir, Yusuf Estes, Hamza Yusuf, Noman Ali Khan are very different in their ways but very effective, and I might be more suitable towards one style and not all. Hence, helping me to nourish the best of my qualities to give dawah in the way of Allah effectively. Being just effective is not important. Being effective on lines of Quran and Sunnah is more important. There are, mashallah, dais who are effective, but they're far away from Quran and Sunnah. So if you want to be an effective dai away from Quran and Sunnah, that's the reason always before selecting, do your homework. If you're going to spend here 45 days with me, and if you have not done homework on me, you're a big fool. I'm not telling you, I'm just telling in general. You have to do your homework. There are many people who are effective, but when you say Zakir says become an effective dai, it's understood on the lines of Quran and Sunnah. Why? Because I've seen his speech, always Quran. You understand, no? There may be other dais who may have programs, but their effectiveness is not on line of Quran and Sunnah. Correct? So being effective on the lines of Quran and Sunnah is the most important rather than only be effective. Point number 6, I would like to know a clear long-term and short-term career plan with IRF, as I would be joining as employee from day one, and what other companies expectation towards us so that I can plan for the best in this career and gain blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One thing is that if you work in IRF, one of the major benefits is the chances of you getting benefit in the akhirah are more. 1 point. Others all negligible. Last point, inshallah, free access to the library, as I would like to spend my time reading from Islamic books from your library. To have free access today, you don't have to travel. Everything is there on the net. This is the age of science and technology. You don't have to join an organization to have access to the books. The books are available on the net, most of it, alhamdulillah. We are running short of time and we have to break for the salah. The last expectation, we'll just finish fast. That's the Fariq Naik, 8 expectations. Number 1, knowing that many people will inshallah benefit as it is aired on Peace TV. And also the participants can later have such courses in the countries. Inshallah. Number 2, achieving a holistic approach of dawah to non-Muslims, as dawah is compulsory on every Muslim, so fulfilling an obligation. Inshallah. Point number 3, making the appropriate use of Quran and Hadith, reason, logic and science for promoting the message of Islam in the best and most effective manner to gain solely the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now here's the expectation. The only expectation amongst all the students is making the appropriate use of Quran and Hadith, reason, logic and science for promoting the message of Islam is the best and the most effective manner to gain solely the pleasure. Most of you said effective da'i, but Fariq says no. Using knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, reason, logic, science, promoting, and then becoming effective, which was covered in the last point. His is the biggest, longest expectation. Number 4, learning the art of dawah in terms of public speaking, one-to-one, and other ways of dawah through media, newspapers and magazines, as media is the most important tool of dawah, inshallah. Point number 5, learn various aspects of Islam beyond dawah, like leading a religious life by involving oneself in Islamic activities, the best way to involve oneself in Islamic activities, inshallah. Point number 6, how to run and operate a dawah organization in terms of effectiveness of the organization and Islamic activities, including dawah, also knowing the administrative and technical aspects related to the organization. Point number 7, the effective use of the available sources in the most cheap and impressive manner to convey the message of Islam. Example, Peace TV, the budget of per person watching is very cheap. Inshallah, we'll discuss this on the 7th day when we have dawah through satellite. And the last, he has given 8 expectations. We asked for 7, he gave 8. The techniques of debate, because in a debate it is not the one with more knowledge who wins, but rather the one who has the skills and techniques of debating. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it possible for you to achieve all these 8 expectations I mentioned. And we break for a Maghrib Salah, we are late. Please offer your Salah fast. And inshallah, we'll meet tomorrow. Inshallah, be at 7:25 sharp, so that we can start the session 8 o'clock tomorrow morning sharp on the second day. That is dealing, inshallah, with the introduction to dawah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.
La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Muhammadun Rasulullah. أرجو رضاك يا الله، أنت الرحيم يا الله، هبني عطاك يا الله، أنت الكريم منك العطاء يا الله، أنت العظيم يا الله، فيك الرجاء يا الله، أنت الحليم الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال. الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال. الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان